I just got the email that every parent dreads from Daycare, and it's the annual rate increase email. Mine just came through, and we have 2 kids who are still in full-time daycare. We have a toddler and we have a preschooler. And next year, according to these rates, we can expect to pay between $40,000 and like $47,000 for the year for 2 kids in full-time daycare. All right, so everybody knows infants are the most expensive. At our center, it's gonna be about $114 a day if you go 5 days a week. The fewer days you go, the more you pay per day. Last year, you were allowed to do 1 day drop-in. That is no longer allowed. You can only do a minimum of 2 days, which I totally understand, but that is a big change. Okay, toddlers, $101 a day. That is how much we'll be paying for 5 days of daycare. So $101 per day, not for the week, per day. Okay, that's for toddlers. And for preschool, we're gonna be paying $82 a day. I am lucky because in this column that you can't see here, there's a discount for residents of the town. I get a 10% discount, so that is huge. That is gonna make a big difference. But if you put this all together and you average it out, we're gonna be paying upwards of $40K next year for our 2 youngest to go to daycare. People will often ask the questions about why millennials are so stressed out about money. How do they not know this? But this is something that you could not have prepared me for, because the rates 4 years ago looked drastically different. And I know people whose rates have gone up 10, 20% a year. You cannot account for that when you start having children. And so when people are like, why don't you have more kids? Because it's $20K on average to send them to daycare here in the state of Massachusetts. Nobody can afford it. And oftentimes people will come back and say, then get a nanny. But nannies are just as expensive and are more expensive than that $40K. A nanny would be more than $40K. So this is what families are dealing with.